completely convinced that we have entered a technological race in the digital field, which clearly affects the pillars of our society. And of course, our economy has entered the race for AI, cloud computing, chips, quantum technology, and from downstream to upstream, in all these different transformations, the competition is definitely a very fierce and global one. Talking about digital sovereignty is relevant to our competitiveness and our ability to innovate, but also to the health of our democracies, the efficiency of our public services, and to the protection of our citizens, particularly our children, and I will revert on that. And this is also taking place in the context of a great confrontation you mentioned, Friedrich, between US and China. And let's be clear, Europe doesn't want to be the client of the big entrepreneurs or the big solutions being provided either from US or from China. We clearly want to design our own solutions. Not to say that we don't want to cooperate. Being more sovereign and more independent doesn't mean you want to be in autarcia. No. But it means on the key pillars, on the key building blocks, you want to preserve your sovereignty. And this is just a refusal of being a vassal. And indeed, there is a short-term cost not to be a vassal, because you have to reinvest. You have sometimes to take very bold decisions to be sure you will not create new dependencies or preserve existing dependencies. But I think it's very important for us. This transformation presents us with a twofold challenge. Innovate to remain competitive while protecting our data, our infrastructure, and more broadly, our sovereignty. And this is this agenda of innovation and protection, which is not protectionism, which is so important, where probably we prioritized during the past few years regulation of our domestic players. And this is what we have to change. We have to innovate before regulating, and we have to protect not to be overwhelmed by the non-European competitors. And this is the right approach, according to us, in order precisely to deliver this digital agenda. Germany and France are convinced that this challenge can only be met collectively at European level, in a spirit of unity and shared responsibility. And thank you once again for this summit, this invitation, and the opportunity to be together, to have our commissioner and so many ministers and the current presidency. Because if we let the Americans and the Chinese have all the champions, one thing is certain. We may have the best regulations in the world, but we won't be regulating anything. This is why our willingness is clearly to do everything we can to build European champions on the different key building blocks, key elements of our digital strategy, and to deploy an holistic approach, as you perfectly phrased it. I would like to take this opportunity to highlight some of